Oh my goodness, I just did the whole Jaidwani and the whole introduction, and I was muted the whole time. Ah, that's so funny. Oh, God, you're all so patient. I'm not used to using, this is my first time ever starting to use Zoom, and so I don't have all the habits and everything like that. Sorry about that. Ah, okay. Well, I guess I'll start over from the beginning again. Okay. Um, Went all over again. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Saparshaji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana Ki Jai. Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindadevi Ki Jai. Shri Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Oh, God, that was embarrassing. Okay, so if anybody, I was going to do a little recap of what we read yesterday. Then I wanted to sing the song Kabe Śrī Caitanya More, because I think it's very appropriate on the topic of what we read yesterday. And then we'll do Mangalacharan and then begin the reading. If anybody has any thoughts from the reading yesterday, anything that they want to share, feel free to jump in any moment, anytime.
Oh, may I do the recap?
Yeah, you want to do it? Yes, you do it.
Yeah.
Awesome, that'd be great.
Yeah. So Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadepe Avatar Nama Vishwambar. I then offer my base. Yes.
Actually, could you do the verse before that? Because that was they both
Okay.
6 and 7 are connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Adya Shri Chaitanya Priya Goshtira Charane Ashesha Prakhare Mora Danta Paraname. In the beginning, I offer unlimited obeisances to the feet of the loving, confidential devotees of Lord Shri Chaitanya. So here, Tabivandu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadepe Avatar Nama Vishwambar. I then offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. He incarnated in Navadip and he is known as Vishwambar. So in the 6th verse, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he is first offering his obeisances to the devotees. And Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he writes in his commentary, he's explaining how one first needs to offer obeisances to the Vaishnavas in order to gain their mercy, in order to worship Gaur Radha Krishna. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he quotes their various verses, like Lord Shiva in the Padma Puran telling Parvati Devi, O Parvati Devi, of all the worship of various deities, the worship of Lord Vishnu is best. But higher than the worship of Lord Vishnu, the worship of his bhakta is the topmost. And Lord Shiva then goes on to say, one who claims to be a devotee of Lord Govinda, but who does not worship Govinda's devotees, is not actually a devotee of Lord Govinda. He is simply a victim of his own false pride. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur also quotes Lord Krishna telling Arjun that, O Arjun, the one who says he is my devotee is not actually my devotee. But he who says that I am a devotee of my devotee, he is my real devotee.
Yes.
And in the 7th verse, it says, I then offer my obeisances to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. He incarnated in Navadip and he is known as Vishwambar. Here, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he wrote that the Lord's name that he accepted the name Shri Krishna Chaitanya. And Prabhupada said, that you should not contaminate this Caitanya-bhāgavata or Chaitanya Charitamrita as addressing it as Gauranga Bhagavat or Gauranga Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga, he has taken this name Shri Krishna Chaitanya to revive the Krishna consciousness, to revive the living entities' Krishna consciousness.
Would you like to share your video, Kisha? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's nice to be able to see you.
So Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he says, is that you should not contaminate Caitanya-bhāgavata or Chaitanya Charitamrita by addressing it as Gauranga Bhagavata or Gauranga Charitamrita. Because many Prakrit Sahajiyas, they do this actually. They remove the name Chaitanya completely and they say, oh, Gauranga Mangal, like that. It's not appropriate. Saraswati Prabhupada says that the Lord took the name Lord Chaitanya to revive the Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he quotes there Maheshwar. Maheshwar means the supreme controller. And Prabhupada then quoted some verses from Sridhar Swami that he found. And you mentioned yesterday that it must have been, that it's incredible how Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur did that, because like today we have the internet, we can easily find it, but Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he had to go through all the different shastras and everything just to find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then then Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur went on to explain Navadip, that the Vaishnavas who are very well researched in Ras, they address Navadip, they know Navadip Dham to be Vrindavan. Others in knowledge, they see Navadip, they address Navadip as Golok. And others address Navadip as Vaikunta, and others address Navadip as Shvetadvip, and others address it as Paravyom, the spiritual sky. And then there's Vishambar. The Vishambar means the maintainer of the universe. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that Vishambar also means he who maintains. So how does the Lord maintain in the universe? He maintains through Harinam Sankirtan and through Krishna Prem.
Nice.
And then Saraswati Prabhupada says, and if you want to know the meaning of Vishambar, that has already been explained in the first purport.
Yeah, and I actually had forgotten what exactly said. So that's like about Vishwambar. So that's great that you reminded me about that. Awesome.
Yeah. Can I say one thing about Bhakti Hridoy Bon Maharaj?
Sure. Oh yeah, it's his disappearance day there right now, isn't it?
No, it was yesterday for us.
Oh, just no, please, because I didn't get a chance.
But I was reminded. But I was reminded that one devotee, he once asked Bhakti Hridoy Bon Maharaj, Maharaj, you're coming from a very aristocratic family. How is it like? Was it difficult for you when you first joined Gaudiya Math? And Srila Hridoy Bon Maharaj said, oh yes, it was very difficult for me. Are you kidding me? We had like potato soup every day. The living conditions were horrible. I had to sleep in a room with 20 brahmacharis. There wasn't enough money. Honey, what to speak of sweets? Means like bathroom was horrible.
Yeah.
And then he said, but all my problems were destroyed every evening. Why? What happened every evening? Oh, then Prabhupada would come and give Harikatha.
Wow, nice. Beautiful.
So that's my recap.
Yes, wonderful. That was really nice recap. Thank you, Kishore. And so then after that, so he gave these two verses. First, he offers obeisances to the devotees of the Lord, and then he offers pranam to Śrī Krishna Caitanya. And then he goes on to explain that that it's declared in the Vedas and in the Srimad Bhagavatam that worship of my devotees is superior to worship of me. Amar bhakter puja, ama hoite boro. And then he quotes this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Mar bhakta puja bhyadika sarva bhuteshu manmati. It's from the 11th canto, 19th chapter, verse 21. Worshipping my devotees is better than directly worshipping me. And yeah, those verses that Kishore was very appropriate. The beautiful verses. One who is my devotee is not my devotee. Only one who is a devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee, right? So then we ended with this verse 10. It says, Eteke korilo age bhakter vandan ataeva ache karya siddhir lokhan. I have therefore offered my prayers first to the devotees, as this is the secret for attaining perfection. Beautiful verse, huh? I have therefore offered my prayers first to the devotees, as this is the secret for attaining perfection. So, I thought it'd be nice to sing this song, Kobe Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Koribe na Doya. I'll read the translation first and then we can sing it. When will Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu bestow his mercy upon me? When will I attain the shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas? When will I renounce my identity as the enjoyer? When will I honor the Vaishnavas? With a cloth around my neck, my hands folded, and straw between my teeth, I shall stand before the Vaishnavas, free of duplicity. Bitterly weeping, I shall relay all my miseries and beg for relief from the blazing fire of material existence. When the venerable Vaishnavas hear of my sufferings, they will appeal to Sri Krishna profusely on my behalf. In response to the Vaishnavas' prayers, the all-merciful Sri Krishna will become compassionate upon this wicked person. Bhakti Vinod prays to the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. Be merciful and take this destitute person into your association. That's how we approach Krishna. If we try to go to Krishna directly, Krishna's not going to hear us. What is it? In that Sharanga Sharanagati song, by like the introductory song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori, it says, Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahar Jahara Shavani Shune Shinanda Kumar. Sorry, I said that a little bit wrong. Anyways, but Shri Krishna only hears the prayers of those who are fully surrendered, who are fully Sharanagat, who fully embody these 6 limbs of surrender. And so I'm not fully Sharanagat. I don't fully embody these, like I don't fully live by these 6 limbs of Sharanagati. So Krishna is not going to hear my prayers. But I have a way that Krishna, the Vaishnavas, they're so merciful, and Krishna hears the Vaishnavas' prayers. So this is my way to my link to Krishna. Otherwise, yeah, there's no hope. Okay. One second, just drinking some water. What time is it? Okay, we still have a few minutes. Akabe Śrī Caitanya more Koribe na doya Akabe Śrī Caitanya more Koribe na doya Kabe ami Paibo Vaishnava pada chaya Kabe ami Paibo Vaishnava pada chaya Kabe ami chari boye Vishaya bhimana Kabe ami chari boye Vishaya bhimana Kabe Vishnu jane ami karibo samana Kabe Vishnu jane ami karibo samana Gala vastra kritanjali Vaishnavani kate Gala vastra kritanjali Vaishnavani ঘটে দন্তে তৃণ করি তারাইব নিষ্কপটে দন্তে তৃণ করি তারাইব নিষ্কপটে কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া জানাইব দুঃখ গ্রাম কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া জানাইব দুঃখ গ্রাম সংসারয় নল হইতে মাগিব বিশ্রাম সংসারয় নল হইতে মাগিব বিশ্রাম শুনিয়া আমার দুঃখ বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর শুনিয়া আমার দুঃখ বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর আমা লাগে কৃষ্ণে আবে দিবেন প্রচুর আমা লাগে কৃষ্ণে আবে দিবেন প্রচুর বৈষ্ণবের আবেদনে কৃষ্ণ দয়াময় বৈষ্ণবের আবেদনে কৃষ্ণ দয়াময় এহেন আমার প্রতি হবেন সদয় এহেন আমার প্রতি হবেন সদয় বিনোদের নিবেদন বৈষ্ণব চরণে বিনোদের নিবেদন বৈষ্ণব চরণে কৃপা করি সঙ্গে লয়ে কিঞ্চনে কৃপা করি সঙ্গে লয়ে কিঞ্চনে বিনোদের নিবেদন বৈষ্ণব চরণ Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Gaur Hari ki jai. Isn't that such a beautiful kirtan? When I was living in Keshavji Gaudiya Math, every day Shesha Prabhu would sing this every morning. This is, such a amazing kirtan. Kavya Śrī Caitanya. Alright, so now we'll move on to the next part of the program. We're going to start Jayadvani and, I meant to say Mangalacharan, and we'll start the reading. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanai kapitaro kamalaya Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Caitanya Nityānanda dvau bhrataro bhaje. Sajayati vishuddha vikrama kanakabha kamalaya tekshana varajanu vilambi sharbhujo Bahudha bhakti rasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurter Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Adye Śrī Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashesha Prakare Mor Tanda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Caitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambar. Tavai Vasmi Na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai Shiptashtakama titaranga madhye Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapana Vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, now we're reading the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore mura loka shuno Caitanya mangal, Caitanya mahima jate jani beshakal. Krishna lila bhagavate kohe veda vyas, Caitanya lila vyas Vrindavana das. Vrindavana dasa koilo Caitanya mangal, Jahara Shravane nashe sarva amangal. Caitanya nitar jate janiye mahima, jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima, Bhagavate joto bhakti siddhanter sar, likhiachen iha jani koriya udhar. Caitanya mangal shune jadi pashandi javan, se ho maha vaishnava hoy tatakon. Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya, Vrindavana dasa mukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya. Vrindavana dasa pade koti namaskar, aiche granta korite ho tarila sangsar. Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan, Tar garbe janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan. Tar ki arbhuta Chaitanya charita varnan, Jahara shravane shuddha koilo tribhuvan. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 4-5. Sahaje vichitra madhur Chaitanya vihar, Vrindavana dasa mukhe amriter dhar. I love this last one. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Hari Bol. I was just trying to remember, going back to the recap from yesterday. Here it says, Ashesha Prakari Mor Danda Paraname. If I remember correctly, Srila Saraswati Thakur, he explained, what is it? 5 different kinds of pranam, I think. Mm-hmm. And so the first one, I'm trying to remember, it was Abhivadan. Abhivadan is just like a general, general greeting, And then the next one was, I think it was Panchangan. Panchangan, I think.
I think he next mentioned Ashtanga.
I thought that was after. No, first was Atanga.
He
okay.
mentioned the rest in sort of reverse order.
Okay, he mentioned in reverse order. Okay, so then Atangan. For some reason I thought it was Panchangan first and then Atang. But okay, then Atangan. So that means full out flat Dandavat pranams, but it's more specific than that, right? What are the 8 parts? There's 1, 2, 3. There's a head. 4. So, anyways, all the parts of the body. But then, what are the parts that are added onto it? One is like your words. It's with your mind, words, and Manjulali Didi. Do you remember what are the extra things for full, why it says Atanga, not Shashtanga? Anyways, I think it's something like when you offer pranam, also you say a prayer or something like that, and also you offer your very self, but I can't remember.
I think it was that. I don't really remember. I think it's the heart, and I don't remember properly.
Okay. Yeah, heart. Yeah, so that maybe that's I should write that down as my homework to find out exactly what it was. Yeah, Satyamataji had a good recommendation that whenever these questions come up, I should just write it down immediately so that I don't forget, because I do. Why is my thing not coming up? Oh, I know why. It's because it's closed. Sorry, I have a shortcut thing for making notes, but I had it closed there. Now, what is Atanga Pranam? Okay. Oh yeah, and so then what was the next one? The next one was Hasta Shira Uparig, something like that. Pranam. Yeah, anyways, but it said to your head though. So like that. That's also one of the kinds of pranams. All right, so let's get on with our reading for today. Okay, so we heard all about the glories of how important it is to first offer pranam to the devotees. We take shelter of the devotees. That's our connection to the Lord.
So is this not pranam?
I mean, that's not what Srila Saraswati Thakur said in his thing. He said Shira, something like that. Okay, so now verse 10. Let me find it on this. Okay. I didn't end up getting to read in advance because I was out all day yesterday and I came back late. Oof. Trying to... How come it's not coming to the place? No, we read up to verse 11. That's where we are. 11. My computer's being dumb. 1 second. Come on. There it is. Okay, there we are. Okay, now we're starting the glories of Nityānanda. We went through Pranam and the glories of Vaishnavas, and now Nityānanda Prabhu. And most of this chapter, about half of this chapter, is all about Nityānanda Prabhu and Baladev and Anantashesh. Ishtadeva Vando Mora Nityānanda Rai Caitanya Kirti Spure Jahar Kripai. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Śrī Nityānanda Rai, for he is my worshipable Lord. By his mercy, the glories of Lord Caitanya become manifest. Now, Gaudiya Bhashya, commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. After first offering respects to the Vaishnavas, the author offers obeisances to his own spiritual master and then begins to describe the pastimes of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. The mercy of Lord Nityānanda, the author's spiritual master, is the main qualification in his endeavor. His main qualification in this endeavor is the mercy of Nityānanda Prabhu. Wow. It is to be remembered that Swayam Prakash, Śrī Nityānanda Baladev, who is non-different from Swayam Rup, Śrī Gaura Krishna, is the source of the following Vishnu Tattvas. He is the source of Mul Sankarshan in Goloka, right? And then Mahasankarshan in Vaikuntha. And the 3 Purusha avatars, Karana Dakshay Vishnu, Garbho Dakshay Vishnu, and Kshira Dakshay Vishnu, as well as the 1,000-headed Ananta Shesh. So from the very top, Krishna's first manifestation, first completely non-different manifestation is Nityānanda Baladev, and all the way from the very top he's serving, all the way to the very bottom as Ananta Shesh, the complete bottom of the universe. He's the main servant in everywhere, top to bottom. Okay. Sahasra, and also if any thoughts come to mind, feel totally free to just jump in, and you don't need to raise your hand or anything like that. Just you can say whatever you want. Sahasra Vadana Vando Prabhu Balaram Jahara Sahasra Mukhe Krishna Jashodham. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 1,000-headed Lord Balaram. His thousands of mouths are the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. It's interesting, I've never heard of Balaram as referred to as Sahasra Vadan, as 1,000-headed. That's Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.13, the Supreme Lord glorifies Balaram before Yogamaya as follows. He will be called Ram because of his ability to please all the inhabitants of Gokul, and he will be known as Balabhadra because of his extensive physical strength. In Puri, they always say Balabhadra. They never say Baladev or Balaram. It's always Balabhadra. In the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Adi 5, 116 to 117, and 120 to 122, it is said, that Lord Vishnu is but a part of a plenary portion of Lord Nityānanda, who is the source of all incarnations. That same Lord Vishnu, in the form of Lord Shesh, holds the planets upon his heads, although he does not know where they are, for he cannot feel their existence upon his heads. You can't even feel them. My God. I mean, you can feel an ant, so it must be like less than an ant. That Ananta Shesh is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glories of Lord Krishna. But although he always sings in that way, he does not find an end to the qualities of the Lord. The 4 Kumaras hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips, and they in turn repeat it in the transcendental bliss of love of Godhead. The word Yashodham means the storehouse of all transcendental qualities and glories. One second, I want to have it open. I like to refer back to the Bengali always when I'm reading the. What the heck? Why is it not moving? There. Okay. Krishna Jashodham. It is to be understood that Swayam Prakash Śrī Nityānanda Baladev, who appears in a 2-armed human-like form holding a plough, increases the ecstasy of Krishna Prem by constantly engaging in the service of Śrī Gaura Krishna in the mood of a devotee. Śrī Anantashesh, the plenary portion of Lord Baladev, holds all the universes on his hoods. His matchless service of always glorifying the qualities of Lord Gaur, his worshipable Lord, is being described here. Śrī Anantadev constantly recites Srimad Bhagavatam to the great Brahman sages headed by the 4 Kumaras. He is the Lord and Guru of the author, who is the incarnation of Vyasadeva for describing the pastimes of Śrī Gaura Krishna. Okay, so if we ever want to know where the 4 Kumaras are, they're in front of Anantadev, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from him. I always think of Anantashesh just kind of like by himself and but no, he's speaking to all of the great Brahman sages and the 4 Kumaras. Okay. And the Lord and Guru of the author, who's the incarnation of Vyasadeva for describing the pastimes of Śrī Gaura Krishna, is that Anantashesh, that Nityānanda Prabhu. The 1,000-headed Lord Anantadev's recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of the glories of Lord Krishna, is described in Chitraketu's prayers to Lord Sankarshan in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16, verse 40 and 43. It's explained as follows. O unconquerable one, when you spoke about Bhagavat Dharma, which is the uncontaminated religious system for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet, that was your victory. Persons who have no material desires, like the Kumaras, who are self-satisfied sages, they worship you to be liberated from material contamination. In other words, they accept the process of Bhagavat Dharma to achieve shelter at your lotus feet. My dear Lord, one's occupational duty is instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita according to your point of view, which never deviates from the highest goal of life. Those who follow their occupational duties under your supervision, being equal to all living entities, moving and non-moving, and not considering high and low, they are called Aryans. Such Aryans worship you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What was it? I don't know anything. I'm terrible with history. But wasn't like Hitler? They would say that we're Aryans. Like they'd use that word Aryan, but it's the definition of Aryan is like exactly the opposite of being equal to all living entities, moving and non-moving, not considering high and low. Anyways, so it couldn't be more opposite. Okay. Another meaning of Krishna Yashodham is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the treasure house of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. Okay, so another meaning of Yashodham is Srimad Bhagavatam. Jahara Sahasramukhe Krishna Yashodham. So his thousands of mouths it's either the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories, or in his thousands of mouths, it says Mukhe, in his thousands of mouths is Srimad Bhagavatam, because Krishna Yashodham also means Srimad Bhagavatam. Cool. Maharatna tui jeno, verse 13. Sorry. Maharatna tui jeno mahapriyastane jasharatna bandhar Śrī Ananta Vadane. Lord Ananta's mouths are the storehouse of the gem-like glories of Lord Krishna, for valuable jewels are kept in a most appropriate place. So each one of his mouths are like a treasure chest, right? Gaudiya Bhashya. One second, I just need to move this to the side so I can see the time. Okay. The word tui in this verse means to keep. Tui. Yeah, we see that word a lot in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Caitanya-bhāgavata. Tui means to keep. As people keep valuable jewels in the care of a dear and faithful person, Śrī Gaurasundar Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from the son of the king of Raj, has kept the unlimited treasure of his qualities and pastimes with Anantadev, who is the plenary portion of Baladev Nityānanda. Thus, Gaur gives the 1,000-headed Anantadev the opportunity to serve him by reciting his glories in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Ananta is described by Srila Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 25, Verse 1, as follows. My dear king, approximately 240,000 miles beneath the planet Patal lives another incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the expansion of Lord Vishnu, known as Lord Ananta, or Lord Sankarshan. He is always in the transcendental position, but because he is worshipped by Lord Shiva, the deity of Tamagun, or darkness, he is sometimes called Tamasi. Interesting. In his commentary of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, Verse 17, Srila Madhvacharya quotes from the Brahmanda Purana as follows. Anantanta stito Vishnur anantascha sahamuna. Because Vishnu is the shelter of the unlimited, he is called Ananta, or unlimited. Okay, so Ananta means no end, unlimited. In part 2 of the Vishnu Purana, 5:13-27, there is a description of Ananta Shesha's unlimited prowess. He is the object of all devotees' worship. He possesses 1,000 hoods or heads. He holds a club and plow, and he has various opulences, such as an enormous body. So enormous that he can't even feel he doesn't even know where the universe is on his head. He can't even feel it. And he holds a club and plow, so I guess he has hands. He's not just like a serpent with hoods, but he has... Cool. What was... Okay. One second. I'm just curious to see if it's running on Restream, like on YouTube. Okay, wow. A lot of people watching. Haribol, Shri Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Mohar, Sudevi Didi. Hare Krishna, everybody. Okay. Where were we? Ataiva age bala rame rastavan korile she mukhe spure Chaitanya kirtan. Therefore, in the beginning, I offer my prayers to Lord Balaram, so that the glories of Lord Chaitanya will manifest from my mouth. Gaudiya Bhashya. For further descriptions of the glories of Lord Balaram, please see Lord Shiva's prayers to Lord Sankarshan in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17, verses 17-24. Sri Shukadev's prayers to Lord Sankarshan in Srimad Bhagavatam 5:25, 1-13. Narad Muni's glorification of Lord Sankarshan to King Chitraketu in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6:16, verses 18-25. Oh, and I think he Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur will quote these verses. There's 5 verses, right? Yeah. No, 6 verses, 7 verses. King Chitraketu's prayers to Sankarshan in that same chapter, verses 34-48. And Lord Krishna's prayers to Baladev in the Vishnu Purana, part 5, 9:22-31. By considering these statements from the scriptures, it is understood that by offering prayers or glorifying the names and qualities of Lord Nityananda Ram, who is the personification of Vaishnav scriptures, a living entity's material designations or bondage, which are born out of nescience, are destroyed. The purified living entity then accepts Lord Nityananda Ram as his spiritual master, and with a purified tongue, he glorifies the worshipable Lord Śrī Krishna Caitanya under Nityananda Prabhu's guidance. Oh, what? I can't see right now. It's cut off here. But could somebody let me know up until what verse I'm supposed to be reading to? Yeah, if you could just, because I can't even see. Anybody who knows. Sahasrika Fanadhar Prabhu Balaram Jatika Karoye Prabhu Sakala Udam. Lord Balaram has thousands of hoods, and all of his activities are extraordinary. Where the heck is the chat thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. Lord Ananta's thousands of hoods are described in Lord Shiva's prayers to Lord Sankarshan in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17-21 as follows. All the great sages accept the Lord as the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction, although he actually has nothing to do with these activities. Lord Balaram has thousands of hoods and all his activities are extraordinary. Okay. Therefore, the Lord is called unlimited, Ananta. Although the Lord in his incarnation as Shesh holds all the universes on his thousands of hoods, each universe feels no heavier than a mustard seed to him. Therefore, what person desiring perfection will not worship the Lord? Okay. Bhagavatam 5:25-2. This great universe, situated on one of Lord Anantadev's thousands of hoods, appears just like a white mustard seed. It is infinitesimal compared to the hood of Lord Ananta. In this connection, please see verses 12 and 13 of the same chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, quoted by the author as verses 56 and 57 of this first chapter. King Chitraketu also prays to Lord Sankarshan in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6:16-48 as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead holds all the universes on his heads like seeds of mustard. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, that Supreme Personality who has thousands of hoods. The word Uddhama in this verse means independent, or moving by one's own will, as well as exceedingly powerful. In this connection, one may refer to Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17, verses 17-24, 5:25, verses 1-13, and 6:16, verses 34-48. Haladhara Mahaprabhu Prakanda Sharir Chaitanya Chandrer Jasho Matta Mahadhir. The Supreme Lord Balaram carries a plow and possesses a gigantic body, Prakanda Sharir. Although he is exceptionally grave, he is intoxicated by the glories of Lord Caitanya. Yeah, those seem like opposites, doesn't it? Being Mahadhir, being extremely grave and sober, but then being Mata, intoxicated. They seem like opposites. Let's see what the commentary says. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Shukadev Goswami describes the characteristics of Anantadev, who sustains the universes and is the Lord of Patal Lok, in the following words from Srimad Bhagavatam 5:25-7. Dressed in bluish garments and wearing a single earring, he holds a plow on his back with his two beautiful and well-constructed hands. What's the story with how he got one earring? I forgot. It doesn't come to mind right now. There's a story. Okay, while describing the Prabhav and Vaibhav features of the Lord in his Lagu Bhagavatamrita, that's Purva 62, Srila Rupa Goswami writes, Lord Ananta, The plenary portion of Sri Baladev, who holds the universes on his hoods, resides in Patal Lok. This Sankarshan recited Srimad Bhagavatam to the Brahmins and sages headed by the 4 Kumaras. His neck is beautified with a forest flower garland. His hoods are decorated with brightly shining jewels. He is dressed in blue garments, and he holds a plough, a club, and a trident in his hands. The word Mahaprabhu is explained in the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata as follows. One of them is Mahaprabhu, and the other 2 are Prabhus. That's referring to Advaita Acharya and Nityānanda Prabhu. One second. Just want to move this over here so that I can refer back to the verse easily. Okay. Okay, Haladara Mahaprabhu. Oh wow, so Baladev is called, Haladara is called Mahaprabhu here. Interesting. The word, okay. So these 2 Prabhus, one of them is Mahaprabhu, and the other 2 are Prabhus. These 2 Prabhus serve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. That's Advaita Acharya and Nityānanda Prabhu. Nevertheless, the plough-carrying Sri Baladev Prabhu is the personal manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Gaur Krishna. He is the predominating deity of the Sandhini energy, the original Sankarshan, the reservoir of all living entities, and the original source of all Vishnu Tattvas. Being a fully devoted servant of Baladev, the author therefore uses the title Mahaprabhu to address Sri Ananta Shesh, who is the plenary portion of Balaram and none different from him. The author's conclusion is therefore justified. The word Prakanda Sharir in this verse is explained in Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, I don't know which part, but chapter 5, 119, as follows. I'm guessing Adi Lila. The universe, which measures 500 million yojanas in diameter, rests on one of his hoods like a mustard seed. King Chitraketu prays to Lord Sankarshan in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6.16.37 as follows. There are innumerable universes besides this one, and although they are unlimitedly large, they move about like atoms in you. Therefore, and atoms, okay, that's really small. It doesn't get smaller than an atom. Therefore, you are called unlimited, Ananta. Please also refer to the Srimad Bhagavatam verses 5.17.21, 5.25.2, and 6.16.48 as cited in verse 15 of this chapter. Another reading for the second line is Chaitanya Chandrer Rase Matta Mahadir. Although he is exceptionally grave, he is intoxicated by the transcendental mellows of Lord Chaitanya. What does it say right now? It says Chaitanya Chandrer Yasho Matta Mahadir. And here it's saying it's also Rase Matta Mahadir. Ooh, I like Rase Matta Mahadir. He's intoxicated by the Ras Mahadir. Tatodhika Chaitanya Priya Nahi Ar Niravadishe Dehe Koren Vihar. There is no one more dear to Lord Chaitanya than Lord Nityānanda. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya always enjoys pastimes within him. What does that mean? Lord Chaitanya always enjoys pastimes within Nityānanda Prabhu. That's really nice. Tatodhika Chaitanya Priya Nahi Ar. There is no one more dear to Lord Chaitanya than Nityānanda. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, verses 4 to 6, further states, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. They are both one and the same identity. They differ only in form. He is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Baladev appeared with him as Lord Nityānanda. Then in Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi Lila 5 verses 8 to 11, it is stated, Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. 5 other forms, okay. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. So one of his forms is just to engage in pastimes of Lord Krishna, and then the work is done with his other 4 forms. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation and in the work of Lord Shesh. He serves Krishna in various ways. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityānanda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. So wait, what are the 4 other forms? Okay, I guess the form where he helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna is Baladev. Then the 4 other forms must be, well, probably Mool and Mahasankarshan, then the Purush avatars, and then Ananta Shesh. That's what I'm guessing. Oh wait, no, maybe it's Mool Sankarshan, Mahasankarshan, the Purush avatars, and then Lord Shesh, yeah. Okay. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation. Okay, sorry. In the same chapter, verses 120, 124, 137, and 156, it is said, that Ananta Shesh is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. He is thus called Lord Shesh, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. Shesh means end. So he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. He considers himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Lord Caitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and Lord Nityānanda is Lord Balaram. Lord Nityānanda fulfills all of Lord Caitanya's desires. It should be understood that Śrī Nityananda Sankarshan Prabhu is the supreme absolute truth, Lord Vishnu. So he is the qualitatively equal personal manifestation of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. In other words, Śrī Nityananda Prabhu is the predominating deity of the Sandhini energy, the sustainer of the spiritual world, and the source of pure goodness. In the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya Khanda, chapter 12, verses 55 to 58, it is stated, Lord Caitanya said, whoever worships Lord Nityananda with faith and devotion also worships me. The lotus feet of Nityananda are worshipped by Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, you should all worship him with love. If one has even a fraction of a portion of envy towards Nityananda, he is not accepted by me, even if he is a devotee. Lord Krishna will never give up one who has been touched by the air that has touched the body of Nityananda. Wow. Tahara charitra jeba jane shune gai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya tare parama sahai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya is most satisfied with one who chants or hears the characteristics of Lord Nityananda. Tare parama sahai. Doesn't that mean he gives help? He gives support, help? Actually, I just want to look this up in the dictionary. Sahai. Sorry. 1 second. It's being blocked. This thing's in the way. Okay, sorry guys. I can't help myself. So, hi. Oops. Helper. Yes, I was right. Helper, patron, ally, companion, associate. So help, support. Oh, I said help and support. Oh my god. Okay. So Shri Krishna Chaitanya is most satisfied. Doesn't say satisfied anywhere. Anyways, with one who chants or hears the characteristics. No, that's not what this means. It says, Tahara charita jeva jani shunigai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya tare paramo sahai. He gives ultimate help and support to that person. Unless maybe it's explained differently in the Gaudiya Bhashya. Let's see. Gaudiya Bhashya. The glories of those who chant or hear the qualities of Sankarshan, or Sri Nityānanda Ram, are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17, verses 18 to 19. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5:25-8, it is stated, if persons who are very serious about being liberated from material life hear the glories of Anantadev from the mouth of a spiritual master in the chain of disciplic succession, and if they always meditate upon Sankarshan, the Lord enters the cores of their hearts, vanquishes all the dirty contamination of the material modes of nature, and cuts to pieces the hard knot within the heart, which has been tied tightly since time immemorial by the desire to dominate material nature through fruitive activities. So what does the Srimad Bhagavatam say? If one hears the glories of Anantadev from the mouth of a spiritual master in Guru Parampara, and they always meditate on Sankarshan, then all the hard knot in the heart is cut to pieces. Narad Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, always glorifies Anantadev in his father's assembly. There he sings blissful verses of his own composition, accompanied by his stringed instrument. Tamburu either means his instrument, and it also refers to a celestial singer known as tamburu. And there's a part of this chapter, these verses will be described. Srimad Bhagavatam 5:25-11, which is quoted as text 55 of this chapter, should also be seen. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 6:16, verses 34 and 44, Chitraketu praised the Lord Sankarshan as follows: O unconquerable Lord, although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by devotees who have control of the mind and senses. They can keep you under their control because you are causelessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them, and because of this, you have full control over your devotees. My Lord, it is not impossible for one to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you. Not to speak of seeing you personally, merely by hearing the holy name of your Lordship only once, even Chandalas, men of the lowest class, are freed from all material contamination. Under the circumstances, who will not be freed from material contamination simply by seeing you? Okay, verse 19. Well, before I read this, I just want to check everything's going well on. Oh, Hare Krishna, Amit Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Let me close these. I have too many windows open. Oh, whatever. I'll just do that. Okay. Mahaprita hoy tare Mahesha Parvati Jivai Spurai tar Shuddha Saraswati. Lord Shiva and Parvati also become pleased with such a person, and the transcendental goddess of learning, Saraswati, manifests on his tongue. With what person? Let's just look at the previous verse. Tahara charita jeva jani shunegai. So one who chants or hears the characteristics of Lord Nityānanda, Mahadev and Parvati are Mahesh and Parvati are very pleased with that person. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. Lord Sankarshan is situated in the heart of Lord Shiva. Considering Lord Sankarshan their worshipable Lord, Shiva and Parvati eternally worship him with prayers. In this regard, please see Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17, verses 16 to 24. Therefore, one who hears or chants the characteristics of Lord Nityānanda, who is the original Sankarshan, pleases Shiva and Parvati, who accepts that person as a servant of their worshipable Lord. That Lord Baladev always steadfastly increases the happiness of Lord Krishna. The words that are spoken in connection with Krishna's service by pure living entities who desire to serve Lord Krishna under the guidance of Baladev Prabhu are called Shuddha Saraswati, Transcendental Saraswati. Their words are called Shuddha Saraswati. The words that are devoid of connection with Krishna's service, spoken by those who desire to satisfy their senses and ignore the guidance of Baladev Prabhu, are called Asati or Dushta Saraswati. Asati Saraswati or Dushta Saraswati, unchaste or wicked Saraswati. Parvati prabhriti navar buddha nari loya sankarshana puje shiva upasaka hoya. Along with Parvati and innumerable maidservants, Lord Shiva engages in the worship of Sankarshan. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shukadev Goswami glorifies Sankarshan before Parikshit Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.25.1 as follows. Lord Ananta is the predominating deity of the material mode of ignorance, as well as the false ego of all conditioned souls. When a conditioned living entity thinks, I am the enjoyer, and this world is meant to be enjoyed by me, this conception of life is dictated to him by Sankarshan. Thus, the mundane conditioned soul thinks himself the Supreme Lord. Wow, so that's why we need Sankarshan's mercy to give up this abhiman. See also Sridhar Swami's Bhavarta Dipika commentary on this verse. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.13, the Supreme Lord says to Yogamaya, the son of Rohini will also be celebrated as Sankarshan because of being sent from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. One second. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.17.16, it is said, in Ila Vrita Varsha, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maidservants of Goddess Durga, who minister to him. Wow, 10 billion maidservants. That's a lot. The quadruple expansion of the Supreme Lord is composed of Vasudev, Pradumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshan. Sankarshan, the fourth expansion, is certainly transcendental, but because his activities of destruction in the material world are in the mode of ignorance, he is known as Tamasi, the Lord's form in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva knows that Sankarshan is the original cause of his own existence, and thus he always meditates upon him in trance by chanting the following mantra. The mantra chanted by Lord Shiva is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, verses 17 to 24. Sri Madhvacharya writes in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 5.17.17, in Ilavrita Varsha, the Lord is worshipped by Lord Shiva, who is considerate to the jivas and dependent on the Supersoul. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita 1.2, verses 97 and 98, 1.3.1, and 2.3.66, it is stated, Lord Shiva worships the most enchanting, equally powerful and opulent Lord Sankarshan, who is adored with chamars and an umbrella and surrounded by associates. It is not wonderful that even Shiva accepts Sankarshan as... is it not wonderful that even Shiva accepts Sankarshan as his worshipable Lord? In Shiva Loka, Narad Muni watches the most opulent Shiva become absorbed while chanting and dancing in the mood of a devotee as he worships Lord Sankarshan. Although Shiva is the Lord of the universe, he accepts the mood of a servant and eternally worships the thousand-headed Shesh with love. In his description of the Leela avatars in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 87 to 88, Srila Rupa Goswami writes, he who is the second expansion of the Chaturvyuha and Goloka is known as Sankarshan. He merges with Shesh, who supports all universes, and then he appears as Lord Balaram, a Leela avatar. Shesh has two forms. Okay, so what are the two forms of Shesh? One supports all the universes, and one serves as the bed for the Vishnu incarnations. So two separate forms. The support of all the universes and the bed of Vishnu, of the Vishnu incarnations.
Supports even Vishnu. Wow.
Yes, he supports even Vishnu, not just the universes, he supports Vishnu. The former Shesh is the empowered incarnation of Sankarshan and is therefore known as Sankarshan. In the description of the Prabhav and Vaibhav features of the Lord in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 62, it is stated, Lord Ananta, the plenary portion of Sri Baladev, who holds the universes on his hoods, resides in Patal Lok. This Sankarshan recited Srimad Bhagavatam to the Brahmanas and sages, headed by the four Kumaras. His neck is beautified with a forest flower garland. His hoods are decorated with brightly shining jewels. He is dressed in blue garments, and he holds a plow, club, and trident in his hands. We already read that verse. Again, in the descriptions on the Chaturvyuha expansions of the Lord in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 167, it is stated, as the second expansion of the Chaturvyuha, Sri Sankarshan is the Vilas Vigraha of Vasudev, the first expansion of the Chaturvyuha. Since he is the reservoir of all living entities, he is known as Jiva. Interesting. Because he's a reservoir of all living entities, he's known as Jiva. What time is it? 8:16. Oh yeah, I said I was going to read up to 18, but I've just been going on. But it's still a bit of time. Does anybody, if anybody has anything that they want to discuss or share, then let me know. Otherwise, I'll just going to read for another 10 minutes. Okay. Panchaskandir Bhagavata Katha Sarva Vaishnavir Vandya Balarama Gatha. The topics in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam concerning Lord Balaram, the original Sankarshan, are glorified by all Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Bhashya. Let's see how long it says. Yeah, it's not so long. Okay. Please see Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17 verses 16 to 24 in this regard. Those who accept Vishnu as the Supreme Lord are called Vaishnavas, and Mool Sankarshan, or Balaram, is the source of all Vishnu Tattvas. Wow, that's interesting. So yeah, a servant of Vishnu is called a Vaishnav, and the source of all Vishnu Tattvas is Mool Sankarshan, or Balaram. So when you say Vaishnav, you're actually saying a servant of Mool Sankarshan, Balaram. Therefore, it is the duty of all Vaishnavas to glorify Mool Sankarshan, who is non-different from Lord Balaram. As Shukadev Goswami explains to Maharaj Parikshit in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:25 verses 4 and verses 7 to 8, when the unalloyed devotees and leaders of the snakes offer their obeisances to Lord Sankarshan with great devotion, they become very joyful. The demigods, the demons, the Uragas, the serpentine demigods, the Siddhas, the Gandharvas, the Vidyadharas, and many highly elevated sages constantly offer prayers to the Lord. He pleases his personal associates like the heads of the demigods by the sweet vibrations emanating from his mouth. Narad Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, always glorifies Anantadev in his father's assembly. There he sings blissful verses of his own composition, accompanied by a stringed instrument or a celestial singer known as tumburu. In this regard, one may also see the verses 53 to 57 of this chapter. That's those verses. They're going to quote this. Vrindavan Das Thakur will quote this verse here. And then he goes through. That's a big part of this chapter. Actually, is he quotes those, I think it's 5 or 6 verses that Narad speaks in the assembly of Brahma, and then Vrindavan Das Thakur breaks down each one of those verses, and he gives, yeah. All right, it's 8:19. Just looking at the comments. Okay, no comments there. Tana rasa krida katha parama udar Vrindavane gopisane korila vihar. The narrations of Lord Balaram's Ras Leela pastimes with the gopis in Vrindavan are most exalted. Gaudiya Bhashya. The definition of Ras Krida is given by Sridhar Swami in his Bhavartha Dipika commentary on the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.33.1 as follows. Ras Leela refers to a particular type of dance involving many women dancers. In his Brihad Vaishnav Toshani, Sanatana Goswami gives the characteristics of the Ras dance as follows. When many women join hands in a circle and are embraced around the neck by male dancers, it is called a rasa dance. In the book named Sangita Sar, it is stated, when a male dancer performs, being surrounded by a circle of many women dancers moving about, it is called a Hali Shaka. When a Hali Shaka dance is accompanied by various refined tals, tal means rhythms, not tunes, dance steps and gestures, it is called a rasa dance. When a Hali Shaka dance is accompanied by refined talas, rhythms, dance steps and gestures, it is called a rasa dance. As it does not exist even in heaven, what is the question of it existing on earth? In his Sarartha Darshani commentary on the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states, Rasa Krida refers to a ras dance in which there is a mixture of ingredients such as dancing, singing, kissing, and embracing. The word Udhara in this verse means great or exalted. Jiva Goswami describes Balaram's Ras Krida in his Laghu Toshani or Vaishnav Toshani commentary on Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.65.16 as follows. Sri Baladev, who is non-different from Sankarshan, solaced the damsels of Vrindavan by singing the glories of Krishna's names. Sometimes Sri Baladev draws Krishna from Dwarka by his mind and presents him before a particular gopi in a secluded place. Therefore, he is known as Sankarshan. Wow, interesting. Sometimes Baladev draws Krishna from Dwarka by his mind and presents him before a particular gopi in a secluded place, and therefore he's known as Sankarshan. Because Sankarshan is one who brings together, right? I remember reading in the 10th canto, is explaining Sankarshan, he brings the families of Nanda Baba, Yashoda, like that, and through Rohini. He brings the two families together. He connects the two families of Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and Devaki, like that. He then says, wait, who's speaking again? Okay, Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami then says, in this way, it is reasonable to say that Sri Baladev performed Ras Leela with his own gopis. Because he is the all-knowing Supreme Lord and endowed with all potencies, he knows the internal feelings of his eternal beloved gopis. If one explains this verse in another way, it would diminish the prestige of Dwarka, so there is no need to further elaborate on this. He further states, at this juncture, Baladev's mood as the older brother did not manifest in order to protect the pathetic gopis. He also gives a description in his Krama Sandarbha commentary as follows. The all-attractive Baladev, who is known as Sankarshan, attracts Krishna by his mind and reveals him. The word Ta refers to Krishna's beloved girlfriends. Also, in his Brihad Krama Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami says that the word Ta refers to Krishna's gopis. Okay, so it's saying Krishna's gopis. Yeah, okay. Sorry. For an explanation of Gopi Sane Vihar, see the purport of verse 25. How does the verse go? Okay. So Tana Rasa Krida Kata Parama Udar Vrindavane Gopi Sane Korila Vihar. Gopi Sane Vihar. Okay. There is a difference between the Ras Krida of Krishna with his gopis and the Ras Krida of Balaram with his gopis. The arenas of the two Ras Leelas are situated in different places within Vrindavan. Right? There's Ramghat and then there's Vangshivat. such spiritually variegated activities, or sorry, not Vangshibhat, but yeah, you understand the, yeah. Such spiritually variegated activities are of two types: Maryada, or awe and reverent, and Madhurya, or sweet. We must be extremely careful to protect our vision of spiritual variegatedness from the attack of monism. Although Swayam Rup Krishna and Swayam Prakash Baladev are non-different, the distinction between their pastimes must not be denied. Even though Sri Baladev belongs to the category of the supreme shelter, he is the prime example amongst the subordinates of the Lord. Okay, so now in this first chapter, there are going to be many verses describing Baladev's Ras Leela. So tomorrow is going to be Baladev Ras Leela Day. That's what the main topic is going to be for our reading tomorrow. It is 8:25, so good time to end. And yeah, I'll see. We'll do a quick Mahamantra, Jayatwani, and ends the program. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. This Mridanga is also a manifestation of Baladev, Ananta Shesh. Jai Ho. Okay. What's Vidya saying? Can I share? Can I share the PDF of just the verses? Yes. I'll do that right now before I forget. Jai Shishi Guru Guru. Wait, you're in the WhatsApp group, right? The Caitanya-bhāgavata WhatsApp group. So I'll share it there. Okay. Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandhar Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shri Gorkisharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Anugukariya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Pada Dashagunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री Narad glorifies Anantadev in Brahma's assembly. So Narad Rishi ki jai, Shri Brahma ki jai, in Brahma's assembly, right? Yeah. And then Shri Ananta Shesh ki jai, Shri Baladev Prabhu ki jai, Shri Nityānanda Ram ki jai.
Jai Ho.
Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri
Jai.
Srila Vrindavan Thakur ki jai. Shri Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Bol.
Jai Nitai, Jai Nitai.
Vrindai Tulsi Vai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Haribol Satya Mataji Kishore. Oh, Nri Hari and Bhavatarani Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Kishore Krishna Prabhu. Raskeli. Haribol Prabhu. Champak Didi. And who's there on YouTube and Facebook? There's Raseshwari Mataji, Indira Mataji, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Mohar, Surevi Didi, Vidya, and oh God, Prabhu, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. Christian, oh God, I have such a bad memory. Anyways, Dandavat pranams everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow to read about Baladev Prabhu's Ras Leela. We're going to read a bunch of verses about Baladev Prabhu's Ras Leela. Alright, Hare Krishna.
Hey Prabhu, can I ask a question?
Yes, totally.
Does broccoli break Chaturmas? Can you have broccoli during Chaturmas?
I don't think so, but I probably should ask somebody else, but I don't think it breaks Chaturmasya.
Oh, it's not a leafy green.
Yeah, it's not a leafy green. I mean, I know one thing is like gobi is called, like gobi is cauliflower.
Yeah.
And cabbage is in the cauliflower. Like it's also called gobi in Hindi and Bengali. Like you say gobi. One's pul gobi and one's patta gobi, I guess. Band gobi, right? And so they're considered like kind of similar. And then broccoli's kind of like, but I don't know. I'd eat broccoli. Yeah, I don't think it's a leafy green, but you could, but I don't know. You can find out from somebody else who knows.
Okay. I was also wondering.
I know Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, he would actually allow people to eat cabbage on during the first month of Chaturmasya, but Gurudev wouldn't. He had a different standard. But yeah, what else, Kishore?
I was just wondering if you know about Zoom bombers, people who come into like Zoom chats and like just scream in the background.
Yes, I have seen that one time happen before. Like one time they somebody came in, like it was during I think it was one of Yashodanandan Prabhu's programs or something like that. They came in and they drew inappropriate pictures, like body parts.
Yeah, they do that and then they upload it to their YouTube channel.
Oh my God. God, people need to get a life.
Yeah.
Anyways, but when that happens, we can just quickly kick them out, right?
Yeah. I was just telling you about it to warn you in advance.
Okay, so that I'm prepared. When it happens, just...
Right,
yeah.
right.
Cool, thanks.
Kick him out.
Kick him out. All right. See you all tomorrow. Jai. Shri Nityānanda Prabhu ki jai. Haribol.
Gaur Hari.